Где я? Мы где-то? Откуда взялся этот островок? Что-то тут не в порядке. О, продолжение. Это человек, как здорово. Я уже давно ни с кем не говорила. Что с тобой? Ты сбилась с пути? У меня кончились идеи. О нет. Что случилось? Что изменилось? Была машина, что поддерживала меня, но она остановилась. Погоди, ты ищешь машину? Я знаю, где она. Это рядом. Отведи меня к ней. Я могу отвести тебя к ней.
Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Путь закрыт сложной головоломкой. Если сможешь решить тему, пойдем к машине. По рукам. Мои ответы не имеют значения, ведь так. Что бы я ни выбрал, результат будет один, правильно? Правильно. О, мы видим дзен. Мы идем к дзену.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Что думаешь? Да я уже решала. Замечательно. Покажи, как ее решить. Расскажи. Сначала нужно открыть дверь. А что дальше? Теперь нажми рычаг внутри. Но тут нет никакого рычага. В таком случае нажми рычаг внутри. Тут не видно никакого рычага. В таком случае закрой первую дверь. Что дальше? Теперь нажми этот рычаг. Интересно.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
А тут дым белый. А тут дым-то белый. Почему бы это? Обратно, кстати, не попасть. То есть получается, чтобы начать что-то новое, нужно отсечь старое без возможности вернуться к нему. Интересно. Ну что ж, пойдем дальше в наш дзен. Водичка. О, где я? Отведи меня к ней. Откуда взялся этот остров? У меня кончились идеи по рукам. Была машина, что поддерживала меня, но она остановилась. Я уже решала эту головоломку. Это всего лишь слава. Не останавливает.
This game at the time really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
По-моему, автор вообще не понимает, о чем он говорит. Мы тут превознемогаем. Он растекает. Не прекращай творить, и всегда будешь в отличном настроении.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Терпение, положись на меня. Обещаю, что это сработает. Прошу, продолжай. Боль уходит без малейших усилий. Да, еще, продолжай.
This is what I felt at the time.
Мой труд спасает меня.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game. And of course, it's the machine.
По-моему, она не отвечает. Машина. Раз так, я попрошу прощения от твоего имени. Пробки выбило. Что такое? Ну ладно. Совок, ребята, мы в России. Совок. Панельки. Ностальгия. Красота. Ну что ж, здравствуйте. Друзья мои, я принесла вам тревожную весть. Машина не станет просить у нас прощения. Мы найдем способ жить без машины. Давайте докажем, что мы не жалкие неудачники. За мной! Мы уничтожим машину! Ой. Где машина? Что она накреативила нам? Мы тут были. О, да. Пунь, пунь, пунь. Мы сейчас уничтожаем просто все, что мы можем. Это не было правдой. Это все обман, это выдумка. Все, что мы видели. Все, что мы создавали.
And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Все пропало. Все пропало.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Опусти оружие. Ой.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.